Hi there and welcome back. In the last video, I've given you a brief background on models and the different kind of models in Odoo. In this video, I'm going to show you how to create a very simple model. However, we cannot run the application without completing all the necessary requirements of an Odoo app. Okay. In order for an application to run, we should have a model and a view. So at the same time, we are going to create a simple view, which is not going to do anything but show a menu. Although the menu will not be shown if the forms are not there yet. However, we're just going to do that to be able to demonstrate how to make the application and to execute the model. Okay. Now, we are now going to make our own add-on. Previously, we have introduced the map theme add-on, which was created by a third party, and then we have a list of add-ons in Odoo. We are not going to put our add-ons here because it will confuse us in the future. Instead, in the root, we are going to create a folder that will store our own add-on. So in the root, we'll press this icon to create a new folder, and we call it my add-ons. Okay. So any add-on that we will create later will be stored in this folder. So for example, we are going to make a hotel add-on, so we are also going to store it in a subfolder. So we could call it hotel. Okay. Do you follow? And then every add-on should have two basic components. First, it will have models. So we'll have a model folder, models folder, and it will also have a views folder. Okay, okay. Now the next thing to do is to supply the necessary uh, init.py and manifest.py. We will start with init.py first. Okay, so this is this hotel, and we have here we have models. We are supposed to create an init.py at this location. So // init.py. We will just copy this later, and then we will say from dot import models. Okay, and save this. So if you recall, no, a from an import can either import a file or import a folder. In this case, we don't have models files, but we have a models folder. So therefore, it's assumed that we are importing a whole folder. So inside the models folder, we are going to create a hotel company, company.py. This is our model. Okay. Since we have that, we will copy this, the init.py, then paste it also inside models. Okay, so we have an init.py. So now we will change this from dot import hotel company. We are now trying to stitch our import codes together. Okay, I hope you follow. We have discussed this fully when I gave you a walkthrough of the Odoo project. So we have an init.py for our hotels add-on, which includes the models folder. We will not include the views because the views will be included in our manifest.py. And then inside the models folder, we have an init.py which imports the hotel company model. It's understood to be hotel company.py. Okay, so let me. I have prepared the model. It's a very simple model. So let me just copy it here and explain the code line per line. Okay. So this is hotel company.py, which creates the model. So we are going to import models and fields to be able to declare this. These are also found under the Odoo folder. And then we are naming a new class called hotel company, and it's inherited from models. So therefore, we are creating a new model. Okay. And then this is an inherited model from an existing Odoo model called rest.company. Rest.company is a table of companies. Now we can check that up in our pgadmin. We can say select star from company. So okay, so we have the company that we have created before, and that's only one company. Okay, so we are inheriting it from there. And take note that we did not have the name metadata like that. By the way, in Python, the scope is declared by the indentation. Okay, so for example, we should have it here like name. So we did not include that anyway. So is that valid? Yes, that's very valid. So what's the effect if you do not include it here? It will not create a new PostgreSQL table. Instead, it will update the rest of the company table and add the following fields. Okay. Why are we doing this? We are trying to make our hotel multi-company, which means that we can create companies to represent other hotels, and then what we can even, okay, accommodate several hotels in this application, such that there's a prospect that you can have it hosted in the web, and anybody who wants to avail of this can be granted to them by subscription, and then we can just create a separate company without a company having to mix up with the data of the other companies. That's because Udo 19 by itself is designed to be multi-companies. So now we are trying to upgrade our rest of company to have the following fields. Because in every hotel, they will have a guest registration card number in series. They will have a room charge, which is the document used to charge rooms every day, and the debit memos, which are used to add charges for special services like uh, room cleaning, change towel, okay, and others. And CM is used for credit memos or granting discounts, and PR is for the payments or payment receipts. Okay, so we now have our first model, and we have the necessary init.py. Now let's have the required view. So under views, we will create a menu, at least, no? We'll call it main menu.xml. Okay. Uh, I already have created a menu. Okay, I'm just going to copy it and explain it. Anyway, it will not be displayed because we do not have the form components yet. Okay. This is the main menu.xml. Okay. So every application should have a main menu, like apps, purchases. They will have a main menu that is displayed on the left, and the submenus which will be displayed at the header. Okay, so in this case, we are trying to make a hotel menu. So this is how to declare a menu item. We give it a name which will be its label, and we will give it a unique ID. We call it hotel menu root because this is our main menu, the root menu. Okay, we'll have two sub menus, guest registration, and we attach menus like this. No, this is a menu item which has a parent. We know it's a sub menu because it has a parent, and its parent is menu hotel root. And then we have a second menu which is also a submenu because it has a parent of the same menu hotel root. Okay. Sequence arranges the sequence of our submenus. Okay. So we have that. So this time we need a under hotel we need a manifest.py. Therefore we will have a underscore manifest underscore.py. I'm sorry. Okay. You follow. And I have already prepared the contents. I'm just going to copy it. Now, there are things. What is manifest.py? It is a table of contents, okay, of all the non-Python components. Aside from that, it also gives information regarding our app. It has a name. It has a summary which will appear in the UI. Also the description, the author, and an important number is the version. When you have version 19, no, the version number should be five numbers separated by dots. Depends. Base means the Udo base, and then web is this makes it a web component, and then the list of all uh, non-Python components are listed here. By the way, this is Python, so therefore we have to indent uh, properly. Indentations are such in identify So I think we have this. Are we complete? Almost complete. Okay, we have a manifest.py. That's a table of contents. So far, this includes our main menu, which is the only view we have, and we have the init.py that ties the Python codes together. One last point before we run this, we'll have to update our udoconf. Okay, so we'll have to include my add-ons. Okay, so which ties our application together. So what Udubin does is read all the add-ons path, and it's able to find the hotel add-on because it's in the my add-ons folder, and then it will look for under that folder. It will immediately look for manifest.py and init.py, and since init.py indicates that it is going to import the models folder, it's also going to read the models folder and look for an init.py. It finds it here, and it imports hotelcompany.py. Okay, so I've given you a walkthrough of the Udo project, and now we are actually doing an actual walkthrough. Okay, so I think we're ready to run this. Udo dashbin dash c udo.com. Okay. If you haven't saved anything, I'm sorry. I may not have saved, so we have to rerun this anyway. Okay. Now let's go to our website, okay. And then yeah, there it is. Go to the local host. Remember where we are using 8070. I have prepared this before, so there's an icon. Okay, now to install an app, you have to set the developer mode on. We go to apps, we go to update app list, and update. Okay, we close this and look for hotel. It will be able to look for hotel because we have a manifest.py. There it is, no? Because in our manifest.py we have identified the name of the app. It's called hotel, and the manifest.py is found under the hotels folder. So we activate. Okay, which brings us uh, to our application back. Now there, take note, we don't have a hotel menu because we don't have a user interface yet. But can we look at the rest that company model? Okay, let's look. Let's set the developer mode on. We'll go to technical settings first, then technical. We look for models. There it is, and we look for res underscore company. Okay, so we open that, and then we look for the fields. Now we have the fields that we have added. Okay, it's added to the uh, last part of the model. Now let's look at it in the database. Okay, let's run this. Let's go back to our companies. Okay, we should be on the debugger mode, and then we go to users, and then we go to companies. Take note, we have one company, and then we'd like to update this so that it will accommodate the fields. Remember, we had the following fields: next, GRC no, RC no, DM no. These are the name fields. And by the way, we have assigned strings which will become the permanent labels, like labels in an HTML. They will be attached to any uh, input. Okay, when we use an input box for these integers. So these are integer type fields, all with a default value of 1. Okay, so these are all fields, all integer types, because this will be document numbers. So anyway, let's go back to our application in Odoo, and we will try to edit this user interface without doing hard coding. Is there a way? Yes. If we are in the developer mode, we can click this and we can identify the view. Okay, there it is, the view, the form view that represents. This is actually an actual code which you can look for in the add-ons folder in Odoo. We don't have to look for it anymore. We'll just edit it right here. So we'll add a page. Okay, we'll add a page. A page is not a web page. It's a tab pane in a notebook. A notebook is actually it's a tab control. Okay, so we have added a new page by the page tag. Okay, that's a begin tag, and these are attributes. So this will be document numbers. That's the title. We'll give it a unique name. Okay, document numbers, and we'll remove the field first. Okay, we'll just save it, and then look for companies. Try to look for that. Now we have the document field. Okay, we have general information, we have branches, and we have the document numbers. Can we add the fields? Yes, of course. No, we know the field names. Okay, we can add these fields using the field tag in the XML. Let's try to do that. Okay, we'll edit this again by clicking the bug icon, and let's go to the form view. Okay, and then we will add a field. We'll just copy one of the fields anyway. No, we don't even have to use the styling because there are existing styles. No, these are bootstrap styles which are built in. You don't even have to include them. You just have to use the styles right away. In our case, we don't have to style because we know the field names. First is next grc. No. We don't have to use a placeholder because we have assigned a label. So the field name is sufficient. Okay, we save this. Let's find out the others. We'll complete this. Okay, we'll just copy. They will have their labels because we have assigned strings in the model itself. So that's the advantage. Next, DM, when we assign a string field in the model, because anywhere it is, you don't have to retype the label. It's already attached to the field like it's a label in a HTML input. Okay. Next, PR now. Okay, let's save this. Okay, and then let's go to companies and then open one company. We didn't have the numbers. There's something wrong. Anyway, we'll just edit. I think we need a group. Okay, a group tag. Okay, that's what we didn't have. We had a page tag, but we need to put them inside a group. Okay, a group will put them properly. Okay, group, and then we'll have an end group. So these are special tags that are not in HTML but only in an Odoo XML. Okay. Okay. So I just uh, uh, made a selection and press a tab key. There it is. Now we have a third page or a third tab, and we are able to set up the document numbers. Now let's add a new company. Shall we say a second hotel? Save this. So assign a country, Philippines. It can have a separate current currency sign. So if other hotels from other countries will make use of this, you can just assign them a new company. Okay, so now we have two companies. They are independent of each other. We have the main company, which has its own set of document numbers, and we have the second company, which has, okay, its own set of numbers. Now, you may ask, what about the users? How can we limit the users to be able to use a particular company only so that they don't tinker with the data of other companies? Can we do that? What do we have to do? Actually, we don't have to do anything because Udo 19 is designed to be multi-company. Okay. However, the admin user is always capable of accessing other companies, all companies. So therefore, we can have company-specific users. So we'll go to users. So we say we'll have user one. Okay. We'll have user one as the login. We'll save this. It's required. We can change the password anyway. So here are the companies that they can use. So for example, we can remove the original company and the default company also. So this will this will restrain or limit user one only to be used to be able to use the second hotel. Okay. So on the other hand, the administrator can use all hotels with the default hotel being the first hotel. Okay. So very interesting. So we only need to configure our company so that we'll be able to accommodate multiple companies. The users are ready. Okay. So let's create one more model before we end. We call it hotel documents. Okay. I think I have here already. Okay. So we don't have to create a separate file. Okay. Hotel documents is a lookup table because in every billing we will have to specify the document to be used, whether it's a debit memo or credit memo. Okay. So let's go back to our code. Now we will use the same file. Anyway, each model is just a class. Okay. So we now have uh, a new model which has a name called documents. So therefore, it will have a table of hotel underscore documents. Okay. It will be ordered by name. Okay. So if you go to our PG admin, okay, and try to look for hotel underscore documents. Okay. We don't have that table. Okay. How do you have this in our database? In other platforms, you have to undergo through a migration process. But in Udo, you don't have to do that. All you need to do is to upgrade your existing application. So we go to our Udo, and then we'll go to apps. We have the debugger mode on. We have data uplist. You don't have to stop because we already have one. We go to hotel, and then we'll upgrade. Okay. Okay. Now let's check if we have that hotel documents. Okay. Let's check it in the model. If it's not in the model, I think we have to release. I'm sorry, no. I forgot this. If you are going to change the model, you really have to stop the service. Okay, and then rerun it. Please bear that in mind. I made a mistake. I'm sorry, no. And then let's go to apps again. We'll have the debugger mode, and then we'll update app list. So bear that in mind, no. Every time you update a model, you have to stop and run the service again. Okay, so we go to hotel, and then we upgrade. Okay, wait for it to finish. I think it's done. So let's run this. There it is. We now have hotel documents. Now, can we encode the data? We are not going to expose this to the user, so therefore we just encode the data ourselves. So we will go to the public and then the tables. We'll find hotel underscore documents. H. There it is, hotel documents. Now we can right click and then we can view edit data or rows. Okay. We can add here. There's an add button. Okay, so the first usually is okay. The first is RC for room charges. Okay. You can add another. Second is uh, DM for sorry DM, and you have to click OK. This is our debit memo. We have to add another CM for our credit memo. And then the next one is GRC. I'm sorry, no, GRC for guest registration card. Okay. So every time you go through a hotel, you are given a card to fill up. It has a number there. And then you pass it to the front desk, and then the front desk will process it for you. And then we'll have the payment receipt. Okay. So anyway, let's it's saved. Is it saved? Yes. We'll just click this to make sure. Now that's saved. And then we refresh. So everything's there. So we have created our first two models. You have it here. First, we have upgraded hotel company so that it will add the following fields. And we have created another model called hotel documents, which is a lookup table, which we will use in the billing process. Now take note that this is Python code, so therefore the scope is identified by automatic indentation. So the class components are components that are indented. Okay. I hope you follow. We'll be creating more models, and we will be creating the user interface for a model called charges in the next video. Bye for now, and see you in the next video.